Hello, guys. Well, we are here again. Okay. Well, before I commence the past question path, I wanted to just say one or two things to all the fans and to all those that have been supporting. We really appreciate in terms of sharing, liking our comments and liking our page, and commenting on all our posts, and also try to observe one or two things and draw attention to it. If you have siblings, okay, or perhaps maybe you still have it in mind to still want to um know mathematics, and I believe this section is for you. But if you think maybe you are not in that bracket, I believe you have cousins, you have siblings, you have children that you can share with. Of course, I've gotten a couple of comment on that. They had to DM me. Then I've also tried to also guide them to ensure that you know their sons, their daughter, and also their siblings, their cousins, nephew, and things like that. Let them come to the page, and if they have any issues, they can DM me. Then I can explain further and guide them on what to do. Okay, so the bottom line is that we want people or students that are ready to, or perhaps maybe they are still in school, SS1, SS2, SS3. Maybe perhaps they are preparing for their exams, GC, SSC. Let them come, let them see the page, let them go through it, and I believe and I'm very sure that at the end of the day, by the time we're done with all the topics, they will at least, in objective, they will be able to answer 45 to 50. I'm very sure of that. Then even in the theory part, they will be able to, you know, take care of out of 5 questions, take care of 3 to 4 questions. So thank you very much, and let's go back to the past questions. And please continue to like, continue to share, continue to comment. The more you share, the more you reach a lot of students that needs this particular subject, because mathematics is a general subject. Okay, to the past questions, you can see we've shown some of the past questions yesterday. So to save our time and to also manage our recording, okay, we have it here. This is the first one I showed yesterday. This is that is year 1999. So it's an objective question. That's number one. Evaluate that. Very simple. You can see that that is short form, okay, and they want us to evaluate or simplify it. So if you see evaluate, if you see simplify, they are also still the same thing. So number one, we can see that this is root 20. Very simple. It's just that is why I said that mathematics is not hard. If you pay attention to it, you will not there will be no problem. So here now, you can just quickly say this is the same thing as root 20 times root 5. Don't forget, this is power 3. So what they are trying to say is that you can write that root 5 in 3 places. That power 3 is telling you indices. Okay, you can write it 3 times. So root 5 times root 5 times root 5. Okay, very, very simple. So you don't just need to trouble yourself. So don't forget that this is you have this is this one too. You can still break it down. 5 times 4 is 20. So that is, I can also have root that's 5 times 4 times, don't forget, 5 times 5. Don't I've said it, multiplication law on that side. Okay, let me repeat it again. Root a times b equals root a times root b. So that is the law on that side. So it means that it's in this form here. So this root 5 is the same thing as this that we'll have here. So I can turn it to this. So which means that 5 times 5, I can say root 5 times 5 times root 5. Do you see it now? So the same thing applies here. I can split it, which is root 5 times root 4 times 5 times 5 is what? 25 times root 5. So don't forget, I have root 5 here, I have root 5 here. I can still apply multiplication law that I mentioned, which is what? Root 5 times root 5 times root 4 times root 25. Okay, so here I can bring this one together, which is root 5 times 5 times root 4 times root 25. So 5 times 5 here, that is what? 25 times root 4 times root 25. So it's as simple as that. Okay, so now I can see that all these ones are perfect square. What's the square root of root 25? 5 times 5 is what? 25. Square root of 4, that is 2. Square root of 25, that is 5. So 5 times 5, 25. 25 times 2, that is 50. So which shows that that implies that root 20 times root 5 raised to power 3. After doing my calculation, I've been able to simplify it to be equals to 50. Very simple. Very, very simple. So please, you can see how simple it is. Now imagine anybody that wants to mark this. In fact, the marker will be happy to want to like, okay, jump into, though it's an objective question, imagine it comes out in a theoretical path. And I intentionally simplified like this for your understanding. At some point, when after you solve more than enough questions, there are some things that you'll be thinking in your head. And that is what normally assists when it comes to JAM standard. Because while we're also trying to prepare ourselves to be guru in mathematics, we started from basics. After we've understood basics, we solve more than enough questions. After we solve more than enough questions, then it becomes part of us. And at the end of the day, there are some things that we've already know by heart because of as a result of a lot of questions that we've solved. Then we're able to be very, very fast. So look at this now. This is very simple. So that is number one. So we can move to number two. Okay. Number two, that is 2000. Yeah, 2000 objective question. That is number three. They said we should simplify. That's 10 roots 32. So don't forget, in one of our parts, and I've encouraged and I've said it over and over, any of our parts that we study, please go through them, check those things, and because everything has been mentioned, this is rationalization. I mentioned this that in SURD, they don't like SURD to be at the denominator. And I said rationalization, it means rationalization of the denominator, that is removing SURD from the denominator is what we call rationalization. So this implies that if I want to rationalize this, that will be root 32 times root 32 over root 32. Very simple. You don't need to waste time. So we're taking our time now so that you can understand it. We can be as fast as possible when solving this. Okay? But if you take your time to understand it, then when you get to the exam, you'll be more faster because you already know what you want to do, what you want to achieve. So here, I can say root 32. Don't forget, I can bring this one together. 32 times root 32. Okay? So that is how you combine it. You know it's multiplication. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Okay? So which implies that I can say 10 root 32 over multiplication law. Don't forget multiplication law. That is square root of 32 times 32. Okay? So now, if you look at this very well, at the end of the day, you will still get 32 because that's 10 root 32. If you press your calculator, you will still get 32. So don't let us waste much time on that. So the question you need to ask yourself that, the question says simplify. Bring it down to the lowest. You ask yourself, this 32, can I still break it down? Okay? 8 times 2, 16. 8 times 3, 24. Plus, when you had 24, when you had 8 to 24, would that give you 32? Yes. So which means that I can still simplify this 32 because the question says simplify. So 10 times 8 times 4, okay, over root 32. Okay, now, I know 4 is perfect square. And don't forget, we can also say simplify 8, which is the same thing as 10 times 4 times 2 times what? 4. Okay, that's very simple. Everything over what? 32. Okay, so from this now, I can complete this here. So if you look at it very well, this is perfect square, this is perfect square. That is 4 times 4, 16. So this one is the same thing as 10 times 16 times 2 over what? 32. Okay, so let me clean the one that is up here since we've understood this so that we can continue from there. Okay, that's that. So it means that I can continue this from here. So now from multiplication law, I can say 10 times root 16 times root 2 over 32. Okay, so what's the square root of 16? That's 4. 10 times what? 4 times root 2 over 32. Don't forget, we are talking about simplification. Reduce it to the lowest. Now you cannot break it down again. 4 can go here, 1. 4 can go here, 8. Okay, so if you look at it, 2 can go here, 4. 2 can go here, 5. Is there anything that can go again? No. So it will now be 5 times root 2 over 4. So the answer will now be 5 root 2 over 4. So which implies that the simplification of 10 over root 32, the rationalization is same thing as what? 5 root 2 over 4. So that is the meaning. So then it means that this, after rationalizing, you will have this result. That's what it means. So that's number 2 there. So it's very simple. Like here now, if I want to be in JAM class or in a JAM standard, I've passed through SSC, SS1, I've passed through SS2, I've passed through SS3, and you've gone through my series, okay, and you already understood. Yeah, I don't need to waste time. This is coming out in an objective part. I already know that this one is 16 times 2, 32, okay, and I already know that if I multiply this by 2, if I bring this together, it will give me 32. I'll just go straight and say, okay, this is 10 root. I know square root of 16 by heart is what? 4. That'll be 10 times 4 over, that's 10 times 4, which is this. I'll just come straight to this place, which is this one. 10 times 4 root 2 over 32. If you're in JAM standard, if you're in JAM class, or perhaps you're in post 2 ME standard, and you understood the basics on the SURD. So I'll just jump straight to this. I won't have to go through all this. Okay, but if you find yourself that, okay, it's in the theoretical part, which is your normal O level, okay, you need to show your working and tell the examiner, either if the examiner is a computerized examiner or computerized marker, or perhaps it's human marker, you need to show your working on how you arrive at your answer, which will still help you. So this is very straightforward. Let's move to the next one. So we'll try to lay our hands on this question as much as we can this week. Then we can move to another topic next week. So the other one, this is very simple. We don't need to dwell too much on that. This number 3 is telling us that's objective number 49. Which one of the following is not a rational number? Okay, so what I want to do is that I want to leave this one to you to comment. Okay, I'm still going to write it when I post this video. I want you to comment. Please tell me which one is not a rational number. A is -5. I've given this in the first part 1 of my presentation. I give examples of rational number. Okay, so which one is not a rational number? So I have -5, I have square root of 4, I have the improper fraction, and I have square root of 90. Please, you can just tell me which one is not a rational number. So it came down as one of the past questions. So then number 4, let's move to number 4. Number 4, this is theoretical part. You have to show your working. Don't jump steps, okay? So that the computer that is marking it, or perhaps the human that is marking it, will be happy to give you your full mark. So that's number 4. You give us, that's 3 over square root of 3, 2 over 3 minus root 2 over 6. So if you look at this very well, don't forget your board mass. Okay, at least this is SS1 question. That's the first thing. It's also part of the first things you need to know. Board mass, which is brackets off. This is in the brackets. You need to remove the bracket. That's what they mean by bracket off. Okay, remove the bracket. So here, if I want to remove the bracket, I'll find LCM. We all know what we mean by LCM. If you don't know what we mean by LCM, is that pick the 2 denominator. We'll still get back to get to that path, though it's very simple. It's one of the simplest and basic thing in SS1. So root 3 times root 6. You are doing LCM. So if you look at this very well, root 3 will cancel root 3. It will remain root 6. So this one will be 2 root 6 minus, okay? Okay, not root 6. That will be not root 6. This one will be 6. Okay? So that's 6 times, that's 2 times 6. Okay? So LCM, root 3 we cancel root 3. You understand? That is root 3 we cancel root 3, it will remain 6. Okay? Now this one too, 6 we cancel 6, it will remain root 3. So this one is the same thing as root 2 times what? Root 3. Very simple. Okay? So the next thing you now do is that, okay, now I want to simplify further. Root 3 over, okay? So this one will now be 6 times 2, that is 18. Okay? Multiplication law, you see, is always coming multiplication law. So you can see that from this, don't forget LCM is very important. LCM, root 3 and 6. Okay? Root 3, we cancel root 3, then it will remain 6. That's why you see from the numerator, it will now be 2 times 6. 6, we cancel 6, it will remain root 3. That will be root 2 times root 3. So 6 times 2, oh, sorry, that's not 18. So 6 times 2, that will be what? 12. Multiplication law, 3 times 2, that is root 6 over, this is the same thing as 6 root 3. Okay? So if you look at it very well, so it means I'm done with the bracket. I can remove the bracket now by introducing sign. Okay? So that will now be 3 into 12 minus root 6. Okay? Now look at this very well. This is root 3 times 6 root 3. Okay? So that is very simple. So it means that this one will now be 3. So I can multiply this. 3 times 2, 6. That's what? 36 minus 3 root 6 over. So 3 times 3, 9. Okay? So that will be 6 square root of what? 9. So don't forget, you know, I've told you when multiplying, multiply outside with outside. You know, here there is 1. Anything times 1 is that thing. So that's why I don't want to introduce it. So outside plus outside times outside, inside times inside. That's root 9. So from here, we can have, that's 36 minus 3 root 6 over, what's the square root of 9? That is 3. That will be 6 times 3. So at the end of the year, you have to show your working, because this is theoretical part. They want to know how you arrive at your answer. They want to be sure that, is this person not spying, or is this person sure of what he's trying to do? Okay, so you can look at this very well now. So the simplification, don't forget to not make sure you conclude that 3, that implies 3 root 3 over 2 root 3 minus 2 minus root 2 over 6 is equals to 36 minus 3 root 6 over 18. Okay, it's as simple as that. So here we cannot say, okay, we want to simplify further, we want to do this. So though we can find the LCM, here, we can break it down here. We can still say, okay, since we know 2 can go in this, which is the same thing, it's still the same thing, 36 over 18 minus root 3 root 6 over 18. It's still the same thing, in as much as we have the same 18. So if you take the LCM here, you will still get the same thing as up here. I just want to break it down further. So if you look at this space very well, 2 can go here, 2 can go here, that is 9. 2 can go here, that is 18. Look at it very well. So now, if you look at this one, okay, 3, 6 times 3, 18. Okay, let's use 3. Let's use 3. Let's use 3 so that we can simplify it very well. So you can have 36, 18. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, so 3 in 18 is 6. 3 here, that is 12. Okay, good. So it means that 6 here, 1, 6 here, 2. So it means 18 can go in 36 2 times. That is the meaning. So if you look at this one is 3 here, 1, 3 here, 6. So this implies that I can say this one is the same thing as 2 minus root 6 over what? That's over 6. Don't forget 18 here, 1, 18 here, 2, or you can use 3, 3, 3 here, 6, 3 here, 12, 6 here, 1, 6 here, 2. So the 2 remaining, that is what we have here. That's the 2. So 3 here, 1, 3 here, what? 6 is same thing as 2 minus 6 root 3. So I can still find the LCM back and say, okay, this is the same thing as 12 minus root 6 over, which is still the same thing. So I can say, I can come here and write and say, okay, if I find the LCM, this is 6. So this is 2 over 1. LCM of this is 6. So 1 and 6 is still 6. 6 times 2, that's 12 minus root 6. Okay? 6 and 6, 1. 1 times root 6, that will give you root 6. So this will be the answer. 12 minus root 6 over 6, which is very, very simple. So this is just the LCM. It's very simple. You take your LCM. The LCM is 6. So 1 and 6 is 6. 6 times 2, 12. Okay, 6 and 6 is 1. 1 times root 6 is 6. So that is just the question we're able to treat now. So because of our time, and we have number 5 here. You can try number 5, share it with your nephew, your cousins. Try number 5 because it's still rationalization. And then you can message or just drop it in the comment section the answer for this number 5. Okay, so you have 2 assignments now. Okay, number 3 and number 5, though we'll still do the correction in our next time uploading. I thank you very much for listening. Cheers.